Howdy Banger pals, Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly, Banger's monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. I'm sitting with the holiday llama. You know that means only one thing. It's December, the worst month of the year for releases. That's a bummer. What's not a bummer is, despite that, I've still managed to find 5 absolute killers from the underground, and as per usual, I've got a list of big and noteworthy releases coming out. I say a list, it's pretty slim. So let's just get that out of the way so I can get to the records I actually want to talk about. So, December 6th, you've got Athena XIX releasing Everflow Part 1, Frames of Humanity on Reigning Phoenix, and then not really anything else is coming out. December 13th, you've got great power metal band Illusion Force releasing Halfana on Frontiers Records, and then not much else is coming out. December 20th, you've got Deadly Magic releasing As Nightmares Gorge the Earth. It's an EP on Dying Victims, and then not much else is coming out. And then December 27th, you've got Dominium releasing The Dead Don't Die on Napalm, and then a bunch of other stuff's coming out, but this is the week that Nazis hide all their releases, because Nazis are cowards. So we won't talk about any of that. Instead, we'll just talk about records I like. Up first, one of my favorite bands is back. It's Aara with Eiger on Morti Productions, coming out December 6th. Aara are a Swiss black metal band that I've actually talked about a lot over the years, but thankfully they're releasing a record in December, so I get to do it at least one more time. Since first hearing them back in 2020, they've become one of my favorite modern black metal projects, especially since they release a new record every single year, so there's always new Aara for me to get excited about. They did give me a bit of a scare this year because they normally release an album every spring. Spring came. Spring went, no new Aara. Then we had summer, and then we had fall, still no new Aara. Well, I guess they forgot to put it in their task list for the year, and they were like, oh no, it's December, we gotta get a record out stat. And thus came the record, and we even get some cover art by Michael Hant that reflects the change in season. Atmospheric is always going to be my favorite type of black metal, and Aara do it exactly how it should be done. This time around, it seems like the December release date might have also been to reflect the subtle change in Aara's sounds, as things are a little more cold, a little more washed out. It's even a little brighter at times, but that's like sunlight reflecting off snow. It might feel warmer at times, but it's still while standing in a cold field. So of course we go black metal to death metal. Revolting with Night of the Horrid Xtreem music, coming out December 17th.
What's the voice on fed? There's no going back. Blood will flow this night. Prepare for the attack. When you feel it in your heart, let the voice of pride.
This death metal is extremely Swedish. It's a Raga Johansson product, who is one of my favorite running gags. If you don't know who he is, he's a man with a Metallum C also that looks more like a one-man black metal artist than a death metal guitar player. What makes me love the gag so much is that he's actually good at his job. I mean, due to the quantity, they can't all be hits, but when Raga does hit, he's a pretty sublime guitar player. He basically sounds like he's playing a Swedish flag instead of a guitar. If there ever was a guitar sound that just seemed Sweden, it is this. What's especially nice is that he's a death metal guitar player, a Swedish death metal guitar player, not a Swedish melodic death metal guitar player, not a Swedish, it's pure Swedish sound, but you don't have to think about In Flames not even once is what I'm trying to say. Of his overwhelming number of projects, Revolting and Paganizer are the main two, and while Paganizer released a record last month, November was so overwhelmingly stuffed with competing death metal releases, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But now, it's December, baby, so I get to tell you about this one and slide in a reminder that Paganizer released a record last month, so consider it a double album, I guess. Well, we know how Blayne goes. We got a black metal record, we got a death metal record. What's this gonna be, a black and just a straight up thrash record? What the hell? Pandemic, Phantoms, Dying Victims Productions, December 20th. Pandemic are Polish capital T thrash metal, and I can't believe we've gotten another honest to goodness thrash metal album this year. It's like it's a resurgence. 5 years from now, thrash is gonna be the trendy thing again, and people won't even be thinking about making black metal. Just kidding around. Black metal can be made in your kitchen on children's electronics with little to no skills, so we'll never be free of it. Regardless, it's great to get even more thrash that's not using Blackened to get themselves over the line, even if I do love Blackened thrash the most. While I know it might be a bit of a tough sell to get someone to want to buy something called a Pandemic in 2024, in their defense, they have been around since 2015, so COVID technically stole their thing, not the other way around. There's a bunch of great thrash on here, and not much, well, I should say not much else, but there is like a little weird, in the fifth song on the record starts and ends with like elevator music, and the fade from thrash to elevator music is actually really great, and I look forward to it every listen. So you're getting some straight ahead thrash with one weird little curve thrown at you. So thrash fans, rejoice. We might actually start regularly getting thrash releases again. And hey, if you like thrash releases, you might like our Patreon campaign. I don't know why those are connected, but regardless, because we have a great Patreon campaign and a bunch of fantastic supporters, you give us a couple bucks, I just get to talk about thrash records instead of giving you weird ad reads here. So toss us a couple bucks if you can. If the money's tight because it's the holidays, just a like, comment, and subscribe goes a long way. Okay, well, the thrash was a curveball, but we all know what Blayne's next record is gonna sound. It's a hardcore record, Jailed, Bestial Hardcore, Iron Lung / Televised Suicide Records, December 13th. What the hell is going on this month? Well, yeah, that's a hardcore record from Perth, Australia, and not only am I bringing you a non-metal record, it's also a record I've only heard the singles from because I don't get regular promo from Iron Lung because it's not a solely metal label, and I get promo from metal labels. The prospect of the record is exciting enough, though, and I'm happy to vacation as a normal music fan, just getting to hear singles, get excited, and look forward to the release of a full album, and I thought I'd share my feeling with you. We get a great cover by Lloyd Goody to match the quite clever Bestial Hardcore album title, because this is basically if you war metalized a hardcore record. It's got the wall of noise sonic attack of a Bestial Black record as well as its intensity, but paired with the slightly less punishing sound of hardcore. Sort of like the great album art paired with the eye-watering neon yellow that seems to be the band's official color scheme. This is the kind of stuff that gets me excited about the closer relationship between punk and metal we're finally getting back to. We get great fusions to offset the bad fusions of metal and punk. Thus we come to our final palate cleanse of the year. I can't believe another year's gone by. This Sunday at twitch.tv/metalcomedy, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I already start researching January releases for the next Metal Monthly. Can you believe it? I'm already in 2025. So if you want to come live in the future with me, make sure you come out to the stream. Regardless, let's close out this year strong with another curveball. It's not a curveball, it's a black and heavy metal record on Dying Victims Productions, because of course it is. Hexenbrett, Dritte Beschw, Dem Teufel, eine, Tochter, December 20th. Yeah, let's close the year out with me really butchering a name. So technically, this project doesn't tell us where they come from, but given all the German on the German label, with the one split they've done being with an Austrian band, I'm gonna go on a limb and say German black and heavy metal. I remember their first album in 2020 for being a cool record that had an album cover so eye-wateringly bad it actually hindered my enjoyment of the music. Get it off the screen. I don't ever want to see it again. This time around, I'm unhindered to enjoy the music that's a unique blend of occult and black and heavy metal that they create. Unique and black and heavy metal may elicit some eye rolls right now, as it feels like we're being assaulted by this stuff, but Hexenbrett manages to do things a little differently than the rest of the field. There's a greater deal of rock and roll swagger to this than the straight heavy metal sound we're normally getting. It's also a lot weirder too. If it wasn't for the German thing being hollered at me with all the German, I'd probably guess this was maybe an Italian release, as it shares their affection for like art house cinema vibes. And while I understand historically Germany plus Italy has been no. In this instance, I'm quite happy with their results. So that's it. That's another year in the can. We're gonna start talking about albums of the year, so start getting your albums of the year pressed, start getting your albums of the year list going. What are you thinking about? What are you vibing? Is there anything I missed this month? I feel like I didn't really miss anything this month. This was a grim December, but those 5 releases, all scrumptious.